is up, everybody? This morning I'm heading over to Elite Wheels to have one of my SSR Type X's straightened. Normally I would just put a 2x4 on it and whack it with a hammer, but I feel like for these wheels I want to have them straightened the best way I could possibly have them straightened. They're kind of rare and I don't want to have to try to find another one, and it's just a minor bend. I know that I could probably fix it with a hammer, but I just also don't think that that's the best way to go about doing it. So they charge a pretty small fee. It's like $120 or something like that, and I've never even seen the machine. I guess they have some hub thing that they bolt it to and it spins or something like that. You can see if it's got a bend in it. I don't know. Hopefully they let us into the shop so we can see the process. So check it out. This is Elite Wheel. It used to be a Chevrolet dealership. When I was a kid, I remember this was a Chevy dealership. It's right in the town of East Greenbush, which is the town I grew up in. But yeah, they bought this this old dealership out and they fix wheels here. I guess Elite Wheel is, I don't know if it's a franchise, but I think they have multiple locations and they really specialize in doing a lot of, like 24-hour turnaround. Like they do dealer stuff. They'll I think they do, they'll come to the dealership and pick up the wheels and, put your car in jack stands, take the wheels, and like the next day come back and they'll be, whether they have curb rash or they need to be refinished or whatever, this is what they do. So this is the bend in the wheel right here. You can see obviously there's like a little bend in it. So right now we're going to check out the machine that they used to fix it. Sorry guys, I can't show you inside Elite. Right after I left, the guy called and said, hey, would you mind not posting that? I'm not really sure my boss would be too excited about showing video from inside the shop. So I respect that. I'll tell you what the machine looked like though. It looked like a modified wheel balancer, but it wasn't a wheel balancer, but basically the wheel mounts to, to the machine, and it's spun manually, and they just have like a little micrometer gauge on there that goes to the lip of the wheel, and as they spin the wheel by hand, you can see where the bend is. And then they just heat it up and hammer it, or they heat it up and they have this little press that kind of opens it up. So that's how it works. Sorry I can't show you, but that's it.
You wanted to finish. Okay. I'm not sure, being a Japanese wheel, I'm not.
All right, so my question, are you going to remachine this lip, or is it getting painted?
It's going to be painted. The whole wheel is going to get painted.
Okay.
So
that's what I said.
It's not going to be black and red. It's not going to have the anodized thing or whatever.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so I didn't know they do the work at night, which is kind of neat. I don't know, I think I've had them do stuff in the past and they've picked it up and they literally come, jack the car, put it on jack stands, take the wheels, and then like the next day they deliver them. So it's kind of cool how they do it. I mean, 24-hour turnaround to refinish wheels is nuts. I'm actually not having them do the powder coating. My friend Tom does all of our powder coating, and I just think that I want to stay using Tom. They do powder coating as well, and I'm sure that they're great at it. But like I said, I've been using Tom for years and years. He's a good friend. So I'm gonna have Tom actually do the powder coating on it. But they are gonna straighten this wheel, and then I'm gonna run it over to Tom's, and Tom's gonna powder coat it, and we're gonna have some new wheels real soon, like that. I'm not sure if Tom's even home, so I'm just putting the wheels in this trailer on the side of his house. And I don't want to bug him. I didn't call him, tell him I was coming. One thing I did the other day is I sprayed some vinegar on here. This thing was so warped. This is like the spare tire cover for the back of my Civic. Now it's still pretty warped. Like if you look at it, it's not totally flat. But this thing was like really, really bowed, and it was really hard, and I was scared to like push on it because I figured it was kind of like, I didn't want to break it. Everybody's had a car that's had one of these that's like literally cracked. So what I did last week, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work or not, but I just sprayed a bunch of vinegar on here and put some tires on it to like lay it flat, and it has totally flattened it out a lot. So I used vinegar because I figured if I sprayed water and if this thing like sucks moisture in, it's going to then possibly get moldy. Like if you see, there's some this is like mold that's, just from all the years of it being in the trunk of my car. But the vinegar will kill the mold, and then it'll also get it wet enough to, like, I don't know, allow the wood to, or the whatever this particle board is, to like soak it in, and then if you put something on it, it'll like take its shape. So I didn't know if this was gonna work, but it seems to be working. I'm gonna spray some more vinegar on it now and just move the weight. You know, I kind of had the tires here, but I'm gonna put some more weight like in this area here, just to kind of push the middle down. But you know, I'm pretty excited that it's actually working, because I wasn't sure. You know, I mean, this is the original one. I want to try to keep it because it is the original one. So anyways, I'm trying to keep it away from like the edges here, because if I don't want moisture to get in there and possibly like open it up. Ugh, stinks like vinegar. How are you? Good, how are you? Good. I just picked up my wheel from Elite Wheel, and shout out to these guys. They did an awesome job. I mean, literally, it's like, I can't even tell at all where it was, where it had the bend in it. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then there was actually a couple other places that had bends, because they put it on this machine and then they spin it slowly, and they put a micrometer on it to kind of read, you know, what the run out is on it. But that's pretty much it. So I just charged the AC in Mara's M3 and it works awesome. So she's gonna be able to start driving this thing every day. It's been like 1,000,000 degrees out, and her, whatever it's called, what does she have? She has an X3, and something happened with the gauges. So it went to the dealership and it's under warranty or whatever. So she's been driving my truck. So I drove this for a couple days and it's hot as hell. So it was just literally like the wire that goes from the harness into the AC compressor was broken. I hooked that up and put a little Freon in here, and man, it's cold. So it's now a perfect daily driver. See, it's full of mail. Mara has a Caboodles. I didn't even know what a Caboodles was, but I guess if you're a girl, you know what a Caboodles is. It's that tackle box looking thing. That's her toolbox. So my level of excitement is through the roof. I'm so stoked. I dropped my wheels off to Tom to be powder coated yesterday, and like the end of the day yesterday, he sends me a text and he's like, wheels are done. And I thought he was like kidding, because he's always like, anytime I drop anything off for him, he's like, when do you need it? Yesterday? And you know, of course I want it done as quickly as possible. I never like give him something and say, yeah, when you get to it, you know, I don't care if it's in 6 months from now. That's never the case. But anyway, he always is like super fast with turnaround. But yesterday he said wheels are done. I thought he was kidding, because it was literally like just a few hours later. And then he sends me a picture of the wheels, and from the picture I'm so excited because they look so sick. I did them in championship white. I just Googled like Honda championship white powder coat, and then like there was a bunch of forum stuff that came up, and you know, the one I just kind of relied on what somebody said, and I don't even remember the name of the company that sells it, but it's basically called Honda Championship White. So we ordered that up, and Tom stripped my wheels, powder coated them, and from the pictures they look amazing. So I'm so excited. I'm heading over there right now to pick them up. Mara had my car yesterday, or my truck yesterday, so I couldn't just run over there and get them. I could have, but I don't want to like jam them in the back of her M3. So I got my truck this morning. I'm running over there. I'm gonna pick these up, and I'm just super excited to see what they look like in person. So check them out. All right, I just got to Tom's, and I'm super excited. This is Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh man, these things look perfect. So this white it's a Honda thing. It's a Honda color called Championship White. It's sort of like yellow. It's kind of like a dull yellow. I'm so happy with how they look. Oh, awesome. They look great, Tom. Man, I am excited. So good. Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate it. I can't even tell you. This is like, I never even liked them when they were the black and red. Like, even, you know, when I bought them in like the late 90s, it was like that was a thing. And these wheels came in a few different colors, but that black and red, it was sort of like everybody was like, oh, the black and reds. And I never liked them, but it was like a cool thing. Right. So, and then they became available. So I bought them, and
how did you come up with this color?
This is the Honda. This is just the championship white. So this color is like the color that is on like Integra Type R's. The body is this color, and then that body is all the body color, and they came with white wheels also. So the white, this is like the color of the Integra Type R. I don't know if the Civic Type, I think the Civic Type R's also came in championship white. So it's just, you know, it's kind of an odd color, but it's a cool color. You know, you wouldn't think to like do something like a dull, like a, I don't know, yellowy.
Real white wheel, they don't look good.
Right, they're too bright.
Yeah.
So
I just did something for a guy.
Awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, they don't look good.
Yeah, I'm psyched on these. Thank you so much. Cool. Guys, I am so stoked how these wheels came out. It's like, they're totally different wheels now. Like I said it a couple times. I never really liked them when they were black and red. These wheels in white look sick. I'm so stoked. Tom's business is called TMV LLC. It's his initials. I'll put his contact info in the description below. He's the best. I mean, when it comes to powder coating stuff, he is like, attention to detail is through the roof. He's been detailing. He's been powder coating for us for, you know, pretty much since I have been open, which is over 10 years. He's been, you know, every single thing he does is like perfect. There's never like any imperfections in the powder coat. You know, sometimes you go to these powder coating places and they're big and they do industrial stuff, you know what I mean? They'll do like whatever, hand railings for construction companies, or just, you know, whatever, these just big enormous jobs. So the finish isn't always like perfect. Where Tom, you know, I got introduced by to Tom from a friend of mine that builds motorcycles. So all the motorcycle stuff is like, you know, very visible, and every little part is a major part of the bike and very like visual. So, you know, when it comes to like the finish, just needs to be on the money. So Tom has like messaged me and said, hey, like sent me a picture and said, you know, is this part of the whatever bracket visible? Like, do you want me to redo this? You know, just if like there's any like little imperfection, you know, I mean, sometimes with anything when you're doing, especially powder coating, because it gets baked. So if there's any kind of like impurities behind something, whether there be like oil or something like that, sometimes there's little flaws and things. And, you know, if that's ever been the case with Tom, he's messaged me and said, you know, do you need me to redo this? And it's never like a guilt trip, like, oh, you know, I'll do it for you, like, because he wants it to be perfect, you know. But sometimes if it's like, you know, the backside of a bracket that's getting bolted to something, you would never ever see it, and, you know, it's not, you don't have to worry about any like corrosion or whatever. It's, you know, sometimes not a big deal. So anyways, he's just the best, and I can't say enough about him when it comes to just being a great guy, quick turnaround, and, you know, it's always like perfect. So I'm just super stoked. Like these things, look at them. Ah, they're so good. So I can't wait to put some tires on them. I'm getting bringing the car to Derek. Derek's gonna be detailing it, and then we're gonna put the wheels and tires on. And you know, it's just wheels and tires. It's not that huge of a deal, but to me, it's a huge deal because I've had this car for so long, and then it sat in storage and kind of like gone by the wayside, and now it's gonna be awesome again. So I'm just super stoked. So if you can't tell, I'm a little bit more excited than I usually am. Anyways, thanks guys. Today's the day I'm taking the Civic to Derek's, to the shop. It's called the Shop Details, to have this thing detailed. I sent him some pictures of this thing when I pulled it out of the garage, and he was like, don't let anybody touch it and don't get it wet, because there's 10 years of dust on here, which is hard to replicate. So there's a few imperfections, obviously, but you know, there's a little dent here, a little chip in the paint there. You know, there's no rust anywhere on it. Like if you look at the wheel wells, it's, you know, in perfect shape. There is fading in the paint. Like if you see, that's kind of faded there. Yeah, there's a couple little dents and dings, nicks, scratches, stuff like that. A little bit of fading in the clear. It looks like the top of the front bumper's faded. Some more fading there. Some more fading here. But Derek's gonna buff it out. Whatever's faded will be faded, and the rest will be shiny. There is this, which kind of sucks. We'll see what happens when it comes back, what we're gonna do here to kind of like, you know, I almost don't wanna like restore the car. I just wanna have the patina that it has, but that's a little bit extreme. So I might do something to kind of like fix this area and just maybe blend it in or fake it kind of to make it not look like such a big, you know, eyesore. But for the most part, it runs and drives. It's going to get detailed. I got my wheels powder coated and they look sick. So I'm excited to see what Derek and his guys are going to be able to do with this thing, because it's pretty scuzzy right now, but it's going to look awesome. I am at the shop and I'm going to be dropping the Civic off, and I'm super psyched. What's up, dude?
What are you doing? Filming?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's happening?
What's up, brother? How
Not
are you?
much, not much. This is Derek. Derek owns the shop.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good, good, good. So, yeah, I brought my Civic. I'm super psyched, man. I honestly, like, you know, you guys do all kinds of fancy shit.
Let's go.
But let's go get it.
Let's do it. Let's go look at it.
Awesome. The Civic is not quite as fancy as a lot of the stuff Derek does, but it's still cool.
Heck yeah.